Hello everybody, welcome to the Maze Game Project. It is week 3, session 1. Hello, I'm Mr. Smith. I'll be your host today. Thank you very much. It is the most epic video maze game class ever. And on the menu today, we have our video warm-up, of course. Some of my favorites, actually. We got a Weird But True for you. Got some Plexers, of course. History of computers. It's the Russians, the beeping basketball, and the punch card. And in Scratch, we're doing the start button and stage 1, something called broadcasting. This is a very, very intense day. Finally, we'll end up with Kahooting it. All right, here we go. Video warm-up. This one's one of my favorites. Rube Goldberg machine. It's called the Page Turner. Ooh, hot foot.
Moi j'aime trop gitane. Qu'est-ce qui est beau, gitane. Quand il joue de la guitare, il enlève.
Seems like a lot of work to turn a page. I probably just would have turned it myself. Okay. Hey, one of my favorites here. It's called Dancing with Strangers. It's got Michael Jackson in it.
Dance.
You wanna listen? It's good. Michael Jackson.
Love never felt so good. Better die if it ever could. I like you for me. The night's gonna be just fine. Gotta fly, gotta see.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm just...
never felt so good. Oh, never felt so good. So
Appreciate it. Thank you. That was good. It's been nice. Yeah. You too, man. You too.
That makes you smile, doesn't it? Oh, this one you'll like. It's called the Tiny Hamsters Tiny Tiki Party.
Precisely put, the new GMC Acadia offers a hands-free liftgate, but you searched for pets.
Who put that in there? There we go. Hey, did you know the most popular male dog names are Max and Jake, and the most popular female dog names are Maggie and Molly. That's correct. That's weird, and it's true. So I was able to get a picture of some dogs named Max, Jake, Maggie, and Molly. So here's Max. That's Max. This is Jake, everybody. Jake. This is Maggie. Let's see Maggie. Oh, lovely hair, Maggie. And of course, there's Molly. Hey, Molly. Good to see you. Okay, that's weird but true. All right, it's time for the Plexers, everybody. Of course, you cannot participate unless you just pause and try to come up with the answer, but I'll give you some time to do that. Hey, here we go with the first one. Okay, so right now a lot of you are saying Vaders, Vaders, Vaders. Yeah. Take a look at what's happening in between Vaders. I'll give you a clue. There's a space. I'll pause. Okay, I'm back. Space. There's a space in Vaders. Space Invaders. Space in. Oh, I cracked myself up. Okay, we've got soup, but the P at the end is green. Pausing. Well, you're back. Now, notice that the P is green. Green pea soup. That's it. Green pea soup. Next one. Secret. Secret, secret, secret. Oh, wait, there's more to it. Boom. There it is. Well, pausing. Okay, you're back. Yes, there's some secrets there, but one of them's at the top. Therefore, it is a top secret. Yep. Good one, everybody. Good Plexer Day. Oh, one of my favorite history lessons here. Let's go full screen on this one. This is the Russians, the beeping basketball, and the punch card. What? Here we go. All right, something called the Cold War, the 1950s and the 1960s. Getting close to that 1976. What's happening? We had a buddy when the US beat Germany in the wars. Its name was Russia, and after the war, they were our friends for about a week. We were two big kids on the block. The year is 1957, and Russia has put a beeping silver ball into space called Sputnik. It's the first human man-made thing ever put into space.
On October the 4th, 1957, while the Americans were still finalizing their plans, Sputnik was launched.
We weren't finalizing the plans. Our rockets were crashing into the ground.
Then, its casing opened.
Oh.
The springs snapped, and the nose cone was pushed out of the way.
Ooh, very scary.
A ball with 4 antennae emerged to go it alone in the darkness of space.
First one. It's not
And a
really
radio
a basketball,
began to send a
boy.
signal back to Earth.
Yep. We thought it could drop bombs
Humanity
or take
had
pictures.
entered the space age.
Really, all it did was beep. That's it. Beeping basketball. It was about the size of a basketball, with 4 antennae, as the guy said. I say antennas, but you know, I might not be right. Okay, so we had to beat these Russians, and in order to beat them, we had to get better, faster, and smarter, and that meant faster computers. That meant data or information. Our computers started to get smaller. They weren't 3-bedroom sizes anymore. The punch card, you guys. To store all this information or data, we needed something new. Welcome, the punch card. That's right. Now we store our data in the cloud. This is how we stored our data back then. How did it work? Well, each spot on the punch card represented a character to the computer. If the punch was missing, the computer could read it and assign that missing spot a number. This machine read the card and converted the punches back into data or information for the computer to understand. All right, take a look at that thing. Oh my gosh. Take a look at this video too. From IBM.
Before the show begins, adjust your sound and focus.
Well, I have to adjust my sound
My
and
voice
focus.
should be easily heard in all parts of the room.
You're kind of low there, Bubba.
Beep and flash should synchronize.
Or,
If they do not, recheck the threading directions on your
what is
projector.
this madness? All right. Get on with the show, would ya?
Most Once Upon a Time stories are fictions,
It's a cartoon.
but this is fact. The early part of the 18th century is the Once Upon a Time we refer to in our story.
What's this got to do with punch
It
cards?
was then that a French engineer invented a new kind of loom for weaving pattern fabrics.
Weaving?
The pattern
What's this
for
got to
the
do with
fabric was
computers?
stored on punched cards. As the cards moved past the needles of the loom, only needles that matched up with holes in the punched cards could get through to plant their threads in the pattern of the cloth.
I see.
Thus, the tedious, repetitive business of setting needles to weave patterns became a machine job instead of a manual job.
How about that?
In effect, the hole in the card said, yes, come through and plant a thread. No hole meant simply, no.
Nope.
Do not plant a thread.
Don't go there.
That's the yes-no language of punched cards.
Wow.
Words are patterns of the
Weaving.
sort, and so are numbers.
Had something to do
Any
with
word
computers.
or number may be translated into yes or no patterns of holes or no holes.
Very clever. It was very clever, those sewing guys. All right, that's the machine. But there was one problem. A lot of data meant a lot of cards. Lots of punch cards. Look at those punch cards. Those are boxes and boxes and boxes of punch cards being stored. Holy schmoly. That's a lot of space. Punching data. Oh, check this out. So here's a guy actually doing it.
The numeric data which is to be processed in a computer
Yeah,
is
well, it's
usually written
English.
out on a card data form
Wow.
before being punched onto a computer card. The printed figures along the top
So
of the card
he
are
needs to
not
punch
read
in
by the computer, which
374.1.
instead scans each vertical column for punched holes.
There it is, 374.1.
Thus, the number 3 in the first column is represented by a rectangular hole punched in row number 3.
I see.
Similarly with the other numbers punched 1 per column.
Yes, but can you get a
Decimal
blanket
points are
out of this?
represented by multiple punching in the same column.
Very clever.
Multiple punching in the same column is also utilized to represent alphabetic characters. Here we see a typical Fortran coding form and a Fortran punched card.
Oh,
The Y, for example, is represented by holes punched in 2 different
look
rows.
at that. That means Y, everybody.
It is
2
not at all
holes.
necessary to learn the code in order to operate a
2
card
rows.
punch. We will use the 029 and some typical card
Here,
punching
everyone, it's the
operations.
029.
Firstly, the wall switch and the instrument switch are turned on.
Turn on the switches, because it must have electricity.
The card punch keyboard is similar to a typewriter keyboard, but uses the lowercase for alphabetic characters and the uppercase for numbers and special
I
characters.
see.
Numbers are obtained by holding down the numeric key.
Yes.
Before operation, the machine is cleared by hitting the clear switch. The other switches are usually turned
Now,
off.
boys and girls, have you seen how far we've
The
come?
start wheels are lifted off the program drum.
Back then, this was amazing technology.
Cards are placed in the input hopper
Oh, input hopper.
and are fed into the machine by pressing the feed key twice.
Now, I feel
The
like I'm
data are
getting
then punched on a
instructions
card.
for something.
The card is released and further cards are punched.
This is something I will never need.
At the end of the
do.
punching, the cards are released by hitting the clear switch. A punched card
everything
produced
now-
by this
everything
operation
data
is now
is
used
in the
to
cloud.
demonstrate the duplication
invisible.
facility.
We don't see it. But back then, you could actually see it. Hey, here's some fun with some punch cards. Do punch cards look familiar to you? A little bit like taking a test, maybe? Yeah, same kind of concept. From punch cards came this thing you see in supermarkets, right? Yes, and of course, you can always make a flower arrangement with used punch cards. Okay. Hey, I want to mention something about the 1950s and the 1960s. There were 3 babies born in that time, and those were them. Keep those guys in the back of your mind. It's the 1976 most famous, amazing date ever. Okay, everybody. We're moving on, because it's time for Scratch. And Scratch is going to get a little complicated. Of course, we are not sharing and caring. So, in today's lesson, you need to pay super duper careful attention. It's the start button and the first stage. This is my title page. I have my start button. What are we going to do with that start button? Now we're going to find out. Okay, everybody, we are about to move on to one of the most important lessons in this class. So pay attention very closely and very carefully. Okay, as you can see, I've got my start page or my title page all ready to go. And the idea is I'm going to click the start button and I'm going to move on into my game. Well, there's a couple things I've done ahead of time. One, I've created a new character. Let's take a look at him here in costumes. Well, he's not actually a new character. He's the same character. He's just facing this direction. And right now, this is his costume. Why doesn't he appear in my title? Because in my scripts, I've just simply put, when clicked, hide. All right, we'll leave him alone for now, and we'll come back to him in a second. The second thing I've done, I'm going to go to stages. You see the stage of the background here in my title page. but I've also created another backdrop. It's called WOW. It's level 1. Get it? Get the play on the W-O-N. Yeah, 1, 1. Okay. What I'm doing is this is going to be the transition from clicking the start button. It goes to this page, and then it goes into the game, because I'm going to have level 1, level 2, level 3, and if I've got more time, I'll keep building. Okay, why doesn't this show up when I click the start button?
Wow, 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 wow.
Because in scripts, I've got a green flag, and in looks, I've got switch to backdrop 1. So backdrop 2 doesn't even play into consideration right now. Okay, so before I go on,
Wow.
I'm going to create now my game backdrop, and I want you to watch, and I want you to do this as well. You don't have to have this transition backdrop. Wow, it's level 1. I'm going to have it just because it tells my players that they are on level 1. Okay. There's other ways to do it. So now I've got backdrop 3, which I'm just going to leave white. Okay, I'm going to make my maze. I'm going to increase my line width. I'm going to use black lines. And now I'm going to draw a line here. Oh, but that's not very good. So instead of drawing, why don't I just use lines? It does look a lot better. And it's better for the game. So I got one line here. And I'm going to have a line here, of course. We'll make the first maze kind of easy. And I'm going to make another line. And another line. And finally, my last line. Okay. Very good. Now, I don't want this to show right now. So I'm going to go to scripts. I'm going to get another green flag. Yeah, wait a minute. I don't have to do that at all because let's
Wow, 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 wow.
Right. I've already switched to backdrop 1 on the green flag, so I don't have to do that at all. There we go. Even better. So I've got my backdrop. I've got my second backdrop, and we are ready to go on to the next part. Stand by. Okay. I'm kind of showing you these in chunks so you're following along. That is step number 1. Are you following along? Okay, that was pretty easy. Now comes the next part, which is getting a little bit more complicated. Part 2. All right, this is the second part of our lesson. It's called broadcasting, and this is where you have to pay close and careful attention. Okay, remember, I want to click the start button so that I can go to my next page, which is this one right here. It's kind of my transition into my actual game called level 1. All right. Well, we're going to click the start button, which is a sprite. So I'm clicking it down here. You made a sprite that said start, hopefully. If you haven't, make one, change it, get rid of what you got. Make sure you have a sprite that says start. In the events, we're going to grab 2 things. We're not going to grab the green flag. Ooh, we're going to grab this one. When this sprite is clicked, there's the sprite that says start. When this sprite is clicked, now we're going to get this one. It's called Broadcast Message 1. can you call your brother? So all you do is go, hey, it's time for dinner. Well, what you're doing is broadcasting. And when your brother receives the message, he comes running to dinner, hopefully. Well, the same thing's going to happen here. But what I want to do is I don't want to call this message 1. I'm going to make a new message here. I'm going to call this start, just so I don't get confused, because we're going to be using broadcast a lot. That's all you got to do. When this sprite is clicked, broadcast start. So let's play it.
Wow, wow, wow.
I'm going to click it.
Wow, wow.
But nothing has happened. That's because we've yelled out to our brother to come to dinner, but he hasn't gotten the message yet. So we have to tell something to get the message. Well, that something is that next level in my backdrops. See, I want this one right here. So that basically is the brother. It's got to receive the message. So what we're going to do is we are going to get this one right here. We're going to add that. When I receive the start message, what's going to happen? Well, I'm going to show. Switch to backdrop 2. Watch. Here we go. Start.
Wow, wow, wow.
I gotta click the start button.
Wow, 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 wow.
There it is.
Wow, wow.
Okay, but something is wrong here. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to ask you maybe how we can fix this, because obviously we've got all the other characters still there. All right, so we're back. Hopefully you said, let's say we want him, we want this character to disappear. He can receive the message too. When I receive that start message, man, I want to hide. Here we go.
Wow, 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 wow,
boom,
wow, wow.
He's gone. But his sound is still there. We still got the sound there. We still got the Adventures of. We still got Mr. Wow. We still got the start button. So I got to go to each one of these and pull out the script when I receive start. Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't. I can just do this. Watch. Boom. 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 And the start button. Boom. Let's see if that worked. Ready? Here we go.
Wow, 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 wow.
Hey,
wow.
We got most of it. We didn't get the O and the other W. So let's see. Okay, it's not in that one, so it's the first one. Sometimes that click and drag thing doesn't work every time. And what was it, the O? Okay, let's try it now.
Wow, 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 wow,
wow. Everything is gone. And now our game is like, wait a minute. Well, it's not exactly how it was at the beginning when I clicked the flag. So what's happening? You tell me what's happening. Okay, welcome back. You're right. When we receive that message, we hide, but we didn't tell it to show. So this is another very simple thing to do. Just take the show button and put it at the beginning of every one. Now, you can go through every one. You're going to have to put a start when the green flag is clicked. Hit show. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So in every sprite, I have put, when the green flag is clicked, show. So here's what it looks like.
Wow, wow, wow.
And when it's the start, everything should stop.
Wow, 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 wow.
Well, everything does stop except for the sound. So just a quick thing about the sound here. I've got two of these sounds. I've got the drum and I've got my recording, but they're in a forever loop. So just for the sake of making this work correctly, because I've tried it with a couple of things like stop all sounds and it doesn't seem to work. So I'm going to take the forevers right out of there. Let's delete those. And I'm just going to put a repeat 10 times and a repeat 10 times. So let's play with this and see what happens.
Wow, 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 wow,
works fine.
Wow, wow,
you know, and
wow,
when somebody comes
wow.
to the game, they're going to hit the start sign and not sit here and listen to wow, wow, wow. So obviously the wow is done, but the drum is going on and on. So let's change that to repeat 5. Okay, I kind of got it where I want it now. The wow and the drums continue on, but they do eventually stop. So awesome. Now I am on this stage. So this is very simple. Okay, we'll go on to part 3 now of how we're going to switch from here to our actual game. Yes, and let's see, let me get out of this here, hold on. Part 2, what we just saw, is the most difficult thing I will teach you in this entire class. There we go. The broadcast message, broadcast and receive. If you can master broadcast and receive, you pretty much are now going downhill. So let's show you part 3, and that should be our last part. And this one's pretty easy and pretty short. All right, welcome back. Now for the best part of today's lesson, getting to the game. We've got our start.
Wow, 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 wow.
We've got the transition page. Wow, it's level 1. Now how do we get to the game? Very simple. We've received the start message. We've switched to backdrop 2. All we got to do is switch to backdrop 3. But we don't want to do that right away. We want to wait a couple seconds. So I'm just going to put a wait 2 seconds. Switch to backdrop 3. Here we go.
Wow, 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 wow.
I like it. The music segues right into our maze. Okay, we're missing one important thing, our character. Here he is. Right now, all I got on him is when the green flag clicked, hide. So how do I get him to show? I'll pause and ask you that question. Welcome back. That's right. He's going to get a, when I receive the start broadcast, then he's going to show. Here we go. This is exciting.
Wow, wow.
Hit the start button.
Wow.
There's our transition.
Wow.
Oh, holy schmoly. 1, he's way too big. I'll never get through that maze with him touching those lines, so I'm going to shrink him up. And remember, I want him to start here all the time. So when I receive start, I'm going to have him go to. Remember that go to thing? All right, let's make sure we got it in the right place. It's negative. Oh, well, this should be in the right place because that's pretry close. Here we go.
Wow, 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 wow.
2 seconds.
Wow, wow.
That was cool with the sound, wasn't it? Okay, so you saw the problem. He shows way too early. So I'll pause. What do we do to fix that? Hey, welcome back. That's right. You said wait a couple seconds before he shows, just like that transition page. Here we go.
Wow, 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 wow.
Wow. We got a game now, kiddos, and we're ready to play. In the next session, I'm going to show you guys how to use the arrow keys to get your character to move, because right now he will not move without those arrow keys. All right, I'll see you next time. Good luck. Assignment. Use the broadcast to move from title page to your maze level 1. Or you can do what I did and have that little in-between page. Use your main character or create another version of your character and place it in the starting position using that go to block. Remember to wait a couple seconds. Make this fun and attractive. I did very basic lines. You don't have to do that. You can get a little bit more complicated or start to go with your theme if you want. But I don't want to overcomplicate things by showing you something too crazy. So that's why I went basic. Remember to title it Week 3 Session 1 or W3S1. And it's time for Kahoot, everybody. It's time. I'm Mr. Smith. We've got 10 questions. Wish me luck. The abacus is most like associated with what ancient civilization? Oh my goodness, we've had this several times. I'm going to go with China. Look at that, I got it right. Question 2. I betcha it's the same questions as last time. The Babbage difference engine was built in 1976. That's false, you guys. It's definitely false. It was built in 1855. Almost 120 years before 1976. The Roman counting machine was used mostly for counting what? Obviously, this is a review. Candles, soldiers, Kleenex, cotton balls. We know that's soldiers. Remember, they used those mostly for war. Because that's what they did back then. Ooh, a new one. Question 4. This is Sputnik, the first man-made object ever to fly in space. What did it do? It sang a song. It drove on the right side of the road. It beeped or it burped. Burped is close, but mostly it just beeped. Correct. New questions, yay. The army needed to hit targets, so they got nerds to create this machine. What's its name? Eatery. Eek! Einstein or ENIAC? ENIAC. Yep, that is the ENIAC. 3-bedroom size house. Big. Next question. World War II occurred because what country wanted to take over the world? Boston, Germany, China, or Rome? Boston's not a country. Go with Germany on that one. Got that right. Good job. Question number 7. In order to be better than the Russians, our computers had to be stronger, shorter, faster, wider. I also want to point out that this is the actual ENIAC in the museum. R2D2. Faster is the answer to that one. It's just kind of funny. Okay, next question. Question 8. The punch card was made out of thick paper. True or false? The punch card was made out of thick paper. Why are we showing the ENIAC here? I believe that's true. I believe that was true. Yes, it was made out of thick paper. And question 9. The problem with using punch cards with computers is that people kept writing notes on them. Employees kept playing card games with them. Dogs kept eating them instead of art. They took up too much space and storage was a problem. The green one. The dogs didn't really eat them, although they could have. And our final question. The year that is closest to the most amazing year in computer history is 2000 BC, 1975, 1901, and 1855. Closest to, I know the year is 1976. Boom. I'm going to go with the blue. And that is your Kahoot for the day, my friends. Did a nice job. And that is our class for the day. We'll see you next time here at the Maze Game Project.